The Great Barrier Reef, located off the northeast coast of Australia, is one of the richest and most complex natural ecosystems on Earth. It is a place of remarkable biodiversity and beauty, home to the world's largest collection of coral reefs. This extensive reef ecosystem covers 348,000 kilometers and has depths ranging from vast shallow areas to mid-shelves to outer reefs that go beyond the continental shelf to oceanic waters over 2,000 meters deep. The seafloor beneath the reef is anywhere between 10 to 2,000 meters and has a complex landscape shaped by over millions of years by geological and biological processes. From above, you can see vast mosaic patterns of reefs, islands, and coral cays. There are 2,500 individual reefs of different shapes and sizes, and over 900 islands, ranging from small sandy ones to large, rugged, continental ones, rising thousands of meters above sea level. Beneath the surface, there is an abundance of shapes, sizes, and colors. We can see amazing assemblages of hard and soft corals and thousands of species of marine life. There are over 1,500 species of fish, 400 species of coral, 4,000 species of mollusk, 130 species of sharks and rays, 30 species of whales and dolphins, 200 of birds, plus a great diversity of sponges, anemones, marine worms, crustaceans, and many more. The Great Barrier Reef is much more than a colorful tourist attraction. The species within the reef interact to form a complex and delicate ecosystem, dependent on the reef for survival. So what makes this such a special place? Reefs protect coastlines. Coral reefs form barriers for coastlines, acting as a buffer from the waves and storms that come in from the open ocean. If the reef no longer existed, many towns could find themselves battered and bruised from the incoming elements. They provide essential habitats. The Great Barrier Reef contains an incredible diversity of life, and if the reef were to disappear, so would the homes of the creatures and the coral that live within it. Reefs can be used for medical research. Over the years, scientists have used the study of coral reefs to develop new medicines to treat diseases. Some of these treatments have helped with asthma, arthritis, heart disease, and even cancer. This has been done by isolating chemical compounds within the reef and utilizing them in disease treatment. Water purification. Most corals are filter feeders, taking the impurities from the sea and leaving behind clear and healthier waters. Without them, our seas would be a murky place from the sediment and other small particles. Absorption of carbon dioxide. Coral reefs are living organisms and play a crucial role in our environment by recycling CO2 from the atmosphere. The algae within the coral absorbs CO2 from the air and uses it for photosynthesis, then allows the coral to feed upon it. Not only is the reef an ecosystem of extraordinary natural beauty, it also provides economical value. As one of the world's top tourist attractions, the reef serves as a vital economic driver in Australia. It sustains more than 60,000 jobs, primarily in tourism, and contributes $6.4 billion annually to the national economy. The reef also holds deep cultural significance for Indigenous Australians who have lived on and alongside it for thousands of years. Unfortunately, the reef is experiencing many threats, its single biggest being climate change. What's happening is that the temperatures are rising on land and in our oceans, caused by an increase in CO2 from the mining and burning of fossil fuels. This drastic increase in temperature has a catastrophic impact on our marine life. Coral bleaching is one of them, which is a process when corals suffer from heat stress and expel the algae that live inside their tissue, revealing the white underneath. Although bleached corals are not dead, they are at a higher risk of starvation and disease. 1/3 of the reef have already experienced bleaching, and large amounts of coral are already dead. Another effect is ocean acidification, which happens when the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which lowers its pH and makes it more acidic. This is especially dangerous for organisms who need calcium carbonate for their shells, such as crustaceans and coral. A more acidic ocean means corals are less able to build skeletons and form coral reefs. Climate change is also increasing the frequency and intensity of severe weather events. Coastal regions like the Great Barrier Reef are particularly exposed to damaging cyclones, flooding, and storms. Habitat change is another grave effect of climate change. As wetter temperatures rise, many marine species are being forced to move south to cooler habitats. This shift creates increased competition for food and shelter in cooler waters, threatening the entire ecosystem. For reef communities, the loss of marine life can have a devastating impact on local ecosystems. food sources, and other industries such as tourism. Pollution from farming runoff, ships, and plastic is another one of the key drivers of the reef's decline. It smothers coral and seagrass beds, blocking sunlight and driving population explosions like the crown of thorn starfish. Nutrient runoff feeds the starfish larvae, and an excess amount can threaten the coral. The issue isn't their presence, but the population booms. During an outbreak, a single starfish can eat up to 10 square meters of coral per year, and a dense population can completely decimate a reef. The Great Barrier Reef holds a special place in my heart. Even though I live far away from it most of the time, my aunt, uncle, and cousins live in South Perth, and visiting them have always been one of my favorite things to do. During one of my trips to Australia, I had the incredible opportunity to go swimming over the Great Barrier Reef during an open ocean swim with my uncle. I'll never forget the moment. My stomach was barely skimming over the coral and the seagrass beds, surrounded by schools of bright fish, and realizing that this underwater world was alive and complex. That experience changed how I saw the ocean. I could feel how fragile and precious it was, how easily something so amazing could disappear if not protected. Protecting the reef isn't just about saving coral, it's about preserving a part of my family's home and a piece of my own memories. If it were to disappear, we wouldn't just lose a natural wonder, we'd lose one of the most diverse ecosystems on Earth. Countless species could vanish, coastal communities would suffer, and future generations would never get to experience the magic that's there right now. For me, that's deeply personal, and I want to fight to protect it because I know what it feels like to be there, to see it alive, and I couldn't imagine coming back 10 years later to see that beauty gone. Protecting the Great Barrier Reef will take both immediate action and long-term commitment. The reef is one of the most extraordinary natural places on Earth, but it's also extremely fragile. Climate change, pollution from agriculture, and careless tourism will continue to threaten its future. To protect it, we need to focus on reducing water pollution, limiting carbon emissions, and promoting responsible tourism practices. Farms near the coast must work to cut back on nutrient runoff. Tourists and tour companies also need to follow reef-safe guidelines. Another way we can raise awareness is through ecotourism. One organization to look at is the Australian Geographic Society, whose mission is to inspire people to explore, understand, and care for the planet. Through their reef expeditions, they connect ordinary people to marine scientists and conservationists working on the front lines of reef protection. They also share stories, photography, and research that brings attention to the reef's condition and the challenges it faces. These scientific expeditions to remote or understudied parts of the reef allows marine scientists, photographers, and educators to gather data, document coral health, and test conservation solutions. By taking their passengers out on smaller ships to the outer edges of the reef, puts less pressure on the sensitive environment on the inside, as well as allows for a more personalized experience for the visitors. These trips just don't entertain them, but they educate them and give them a chance to see firsthand what's at stake and to turn them into advocates for the reef's protection. To support these efforts, people can donate to organizations like AGS, choose to travel with eco-certified tour companies, and spread awareness about the importance of reef conservation. On an individual level, we can support sustainable seafood, reduce our energy use, and cut back on carbon emissions that can all contribute to the reef's survival. The fate of the Great Barrier Reef is a reflection of our collective responsibility to the Earth, and the time to act is now.